Good morning, this is John Checky. When I first started my career as a financial advisor back in about 1988 with insurance and then 1989 with IDS American Express, we had a couple of correlations that we noticed just that quickly. If we walked into a home, and back in olden days we commonly walked into a home, and we saw lots of books and an absence of a ginormous television set, we realized these people enjoyed education. If we saw toys in the front yard like a swing set and stuff like that, like people had children, that's nice. If we saw an absence of books and toys, and say a big old boat in the driveway, realize these people enjoyed having fun. And they may or may not, long term or short term, have made decent clients. And another fellow, much smarter than me, said there's the E to E ratio, and that is the entertainment to education ratio. Some folks, and I guess I'm one of them, really enjoy learning new things and then applying new things. And there are other folks who really enjoy being entertained. For instance, this cup, to me, is very entertaining. It says a hand-painted Delft blue or blue Delft mug. And although I've never been to Holland, I've always enjoyed their artwork, whether it's Van Gogh or Van Gogh, depending upon which art teacher you have. Then there was another, the ego to talent ratio that Chuck Manthey shared with me. Some folks have ginormous egos and not that much talent. The most important measure that I found with folks is, do you simply enjoy your life? I know folks who are very capable, generous, kind, successful, happily married business people who were their father or mother to their children, and if their children are still younger, still are, and if their children are older, still give them advice when asked for it. And I know other people who are much more interested in how they look as opposed to how they act. So what's the point of all this? While I'm rambling along, let's get to the point. The economy seems to be changing kind of sort of back to the way it used to be before the pandemic. What evidence do we have to support this point of view? Gee willikers. In today's Wall Street Journal, and yes, there's some of us who still enjoy reading a hard newspaper. One of our poker playing buds called us relics and suggested that perhaps whether it was the Dallas Morning News or the Wall Street Journal would be delighted if we stopped getting hard copies of print things. But baby boomers kind of sort of, contrary to popular belief, at least in some cases, really still enjoy flipping real pages, whether it's books or newspapers. Have a nice day. But Netflix lost, excuse me, Netflix lost, reportedly, about 2 million subscribers last month. You could say, gee, why is that? It could be because people are talking to each other again, or perhaps they've discovered you can stream movies on many different services more efficiently than you can on Netflix. I've noticed my Netflix bill has increased over the years, which is not that entertaining. And there's only one household that's on it, that is ours. It's John and Susie hardly ever watches Netflix. I've also noticed that some large financial institutions' profit fell way off due to the fact that stock markets have been low, initial public offerings, brand new companies offering brand new stock on exchanges fallen off dramatically, and perhaps brokerage account opening has slowed a bit. That's one curiosity. Certain drug companies are doing very well, and others, J&J, Johnson & Johnson, seems to have fallen off some. So what does all that mean? It means that if you're an old person, and at 74 and a half, I certainly qualify to be an old person, the main thing is to figure out what you want to do next, get your health measures established, so you have an idea of what your baseline is. And that's good advice for every age, not just an old person's age. Then there's the to join or not to join masterminds. Now, I really enjoy certain masterminds because you learn all kinds of stuff. You find out who is mining Bitcoin and who is farming and who is buying a mine off in the wilderness somewhere for God only knows what reason. So people are kind of digging in. Personally, we're beginning to launch a mastermind called How to Be Happier. And one of the steps on how to be happier is to understand who and what you are. Now, for many years as a financial advisor, we've had discussions with folks asking them, what brings you joy? Later this week, if the mail ever gets to a certain remote part of New Mexico, we'll be doing a client review remotely via some technology known as Zoom to review what in fact is going on with some folks' investments and their health and their family. And how on earth did we happen to have a client in New Mexico since we live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? Well, years ago, some clients said, gee, I really enjoy climbing mountains. There's a particular part of the world I like. Can you name the state? We said, okay, let's write down that goal. We had some other clients for years and years who loved to fish trout in the Rio Grande River in, of all places, Colorado. And there was a little town called Creede, Colorado that they had visited over the years. And we thought, okay, let's write down, have a cabin in Creede, Colorado. And one Saturday morning, they called and said, we found a place in Colorado. Now they want to know how to pay for it. Well, fortunately, even on a Saturday morning, I recalled where we had put the money to pay for that. So what's the point of all that? Figure out what it is that brings you joy. Figure out what it is that you really don't like doing. In my case, I kind of enjoy mowing my lawn, but I do not enjoy edging the lawn. So eventually, in what I'm going to call my premature old age, we found some other folks to go ahead and edge and mow the lawn, properly fertilize the lawn, properly care for the lawn, probably put in grass that would actually grow under the big trees. And son of a gun, we found what is affectionately called a who, not how. The next big challenge right this second is to find somebody who can remove a really stuck-on hose nozzle that is starting to leak, to get that off there so I can put or have someone put a more efficient non-leaking nozzle on the hose, or just replace the whole hose, which would be kind of comedic. So one, establish your benchmarks in terms of where are you right now, whether it's money, health, relationships, goals, business, whatever your it's might happen to be. Commonly, personal relationships for ambitious people commonly are ignored. And yet, as time marches on, people kind of sort of discover that relationships are very critical. There are other folks who'll tell you that your net worth, which means how much you own versus how much you owe in terms of dollars, your net worth is very much associated with your network. In other words, amazing people that you know. I'll call them the gifted and talented and amazingly effective human beings, or folks who seem to be lost in space on a regular basis. So this may well be step number 12 in the 12-step program of how to avoid joining any more masterminds. 1, establish who and what you are. 2, establish your baselines as to where you are today. 3, figure out what it is you want to accomplish or be in your old age. Find some folks along the way that can help you with that, especially folks who are already doing it and still enjoy doing it. And lastly, enjoy your day. It's Wednesday, the lucky 20th day of July. It's already 85 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. That is Alexa playing some symphony in the background, as we do every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning before we read the Bible and walk around the block or go to the gym and work out. Have fun. Be well. This is John Checky wishing you a happy, healthy Wednesday.